Today I'm going to be reading Chapter 10 of The Chocolate Touch. We're nearing the end. This chapter, Chapter 10, then it's Chapter 11, and then finally Chapter 12. And then we'll be finished. Dragging along and thinking of all the dreadful things that had happened, John had walked about halfway home when he heard the cheery voice of his father. "Hello, hello!" called Mr. Midas, crossing over from the other side of the street. He was on his way home from the station. "You left the party rather early, didn't you?" "What?" Mr. Midas had just seen the patches and streaks of chocolate that were drying on John's face and his clothes. "Good gracious, no wonder you left the party early. How did that happen?" John burst into tears. It had been so awful, and now he could tell his father about his terrible day. He stopped crying and only sniffled a little now, and then as he told this whole story, about taking the coin to the candy store, about buying the box of chocolate that had turned out to have only one chocolate in it, about the toothpaste, about breakfast, the gloves, the silver dollar, the pencil, the lunch, the trumpet, and finally the apple ducky water. "You mean they all really turned to chocolate?" Mr. Midas said. "You sure you didn't imagine some of this?" "Oh, no," John assured him. "Well," Mr. Midas said, still looking doubtful, "we're only a couple of blocks from the candy store of yours. Not that I ever noticed one there. Suppose we stroll over and ask the man whether his chocolates always do strange things to people." "It's on the next corner," John said, recognizing some of the houses on the side of the street. "Not the next house, not the next," he said, but John's voice faded into silence. The corner where he had found the candy store was nothing but an empty lot, flat, open ground littered with piles of rusty tin cans and broken bottles around the splintery old sign saying "For Sale." Said Mr. Midas, frowning anxiously to John. "Think we'd better pay a visit to Dr. Cranium before we go home." That's where the store was, though," John protested, getting to cry again. He had shed more tears in that one day, it seemed, and certainly eaten more chocolate than in all the days of his life put together. "I know it was." Dr. Cranium was a busy man. As luck would have it, however, he was able to see Mr. Midas and John almost at once. "Well, well, 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 well," said Dr. Cranium. "And how are we getting along now, John? Have we cut down on our candy?" "How do you do?" John responded dully. "Apparently he had a bad day, Dr. Cranium," Mr. Midas said. "Trouble at school, you know, and a little accident at the birthday party. But what I'm worried about is that he keeps saying that everything he puts into his mouth turns to chocolate." "No more than a nursery fantasy, I'm sure," Dr. Cranium said to Mr. Midas. "Well, John," he went on, looking down with a smile, "suppose you tell me in your own words what this matter seems to be." "Everything I put into my mouth turns into chocolate," John explained. "Everything I eat and everything I drink changes into chocolate. I'm thirsty, and I'm getting a pain. A bad one, I think." Dr. Cranium sighed patiently and invited John to open his mouth and say, "Ah." "Ah," John said. Dr. Cranium peered into John's mouth briefly, and he gave a low whistle of surprise. "This chocolate eating simply must stop." He went to the supply cabinet. "I don't think there's any time to be lost," he told Mr. Midas. "I'm going to give the boy some of my own special compound. Dr. Cranium's elixir, I call it. Never fails." Dr. Cranium selected a large bottle from one of the cabinet's crowded shelves. He removed the top from the bottle. He got a spoon from another shelf. He filled He filled the spoon with an oily, greenish-yellowish medicine that had yellowish-greenish reddish lights glinting in it. "It doesn't taste very pleasant," Dr. Cranium warned John in a pleasant tone of voice, "but I'm sure it will do the trick. Clears the stomach and you clear the mind. That's what I always say." Dr. Cranium offered John the brimful spoon. "Must I?" John asked his father. "No, it will turn into chocolate." "Go on," Mr. Midas nodded encouragingly. "Drink it down." John took the spoon between his lips. The medicine turned to chocolate. The spoon turned to chocolate. John choked and spluttered, the chocolate syrup spurting from his mouth. Dr. Cranium dropped the spoon in alarm. When it struck the white tiled floor, the chocolate handle snapped into several pieces. "Mercy!" said Dr. Cranium. "Never seen anything like it. The boy's whole system seems to be so chocolified that it chocolifies everything it touches." After he had recovered somewhat, the doctor went on. "I believe there must be some unprecedented case of chocolatis. I shall call it Cranium's disease. I shall want to make an exhaustive study of the child. I I think John has had enough excitement for one day," Mr. Midas said. "Only 2 more chapters to go. That's the end of the book. Hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye."